Story time!
So we're telling a story. Now this story, the significance of this story goes back to my PhD.
Right.
It was when Whitney and I were first learning how to be a team.
And also work with others below us. That was kind of the first.
There's a better way of
Taste of an
saying.
employee.
We didn't have a lot of money. We were living with my mom and dad.
Those were good times, but tough times.
I remember when we asked mom and dad if we could borrow their garage. We took them out
Half
for
of the garage.
half the garage.
Not even half, because it was
was
like
half
it was
the
like the
garage.
side, like along the wall.
2/3 of half of the garage.
Probably a third of half.
No, 2/3, because dad had the third for his office.
But it wasn't.
No, it was half the garage.
I know, but it wasn't even all the. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's-
2/3,
okay, come on,
Give
let's
or
just-
take. 2/3 of half. Anyways, a portion of the garage.
I still want to say 2/6. Anyway.
2/6.
So a portion of the garage. Remember,
One
mom
and a quarter thirds.
we're at something fishy.
No, that.
Yeah. We're
No.
at something fishing. We got them lobster. And
That was
dad,
when we told them we were
we
getting
were
married.
That's when we told them. They asked us if we were pregnant.
No, you're not. We
No,
just
no.
didn't want a big wedding.
But anyway, so we're having dinner at the house,
Yes.
and I sit next to dad. Mom sits next to me, and mom sits across from me. And I said, for this PhD work, can we borrow a portion of your garage to set up all of our testing equipment? And dad looks at mom and says,
They're gonna take over the whole house.
Pearl, they're gonna take over the whole house.
We kind of did.
And when we had left, so
There were still samples in the basement.
my favorite is the night that mom went, enough! I've had enough! Harry, I'm done! I had samples on the dryer.
Yeah. Was that chemical shrinkage?
No. That was just cubes. Because it was freezing outside, and since it was in the garage, we insulated it, but it was still like 40, 50 degrees. So we had to bring all our samples in the house. Samples on the dining room table. Those
fancy dining room.
Those were the shrinkage. The chemical shrinkage.
Hated that test.
Mom, I love my mom.
Yeah.
And she's one of the most patient women in the world. She was upset. I was in trouble. By the time we left, there were still samples in the basement.
Right.
Came back, there were still samples.
Came back like a year later to visit, and they're like, "Can you clear out the rest of the concrete samples? There's some in the basement."
So,
Those were wicking. We should have done a measurement then. That would have been interesting to see.
at the beginning of my PhD, I didn't have a mixer. The university did have a
We
mixer.
schlepped that one from Colorado, didn't we?
The Cushland? No. The Cushland
We
sucked.
totally did.
Yeah, it was horrible. And they had a nicer mixer at Stevens.
Sure.
So we had planned for me to go out there early on a Saturday morning,
Work with a couple of undergrads.
work with a couple of undergrads, do the mixes for my PhD, and what we were planning on doing is 3 different types of colloidal silica at 4 dosage rates each, 2 references, one was a straight cement, one was a Portland cement, and we did like 1, 3, 7, 28, 56, 90.
Yeah, there were over 100
180?
cylinders, right? 92 cylinders.
There was a lot, so
obnoxious
we
number.
really spaced it out. And the mixes I was using was the same mixes that's in ASTM C494.
Oh, okay.
It's like 517 pounds total cementitious, 1265 on the sand,
Sure.
1750-ish on the rock, and a .47. You can use a mid-range or a high range, but you have to get a slump that's 3 inches plus or minus. I'm trying to do this.
2 inches probably?
No, plus or minus a half inch.
Okay.
It's like 3.5 inches plus or minus a half. It's something weird, or 3 plus or minus 1. I had the undergrads making my cylinders.
Consolidating.
Now, I don't know if you know
bueno.
this. I
No
had
bueno.
a great technician.
You did? Back at the house.
Best dang technician in the world. Whitney Lee Bitter Elements.
Trained by the best.
Trained by the best.
Tough teacher, though.
We got a story about that too.
Yeah, we did.
Anyway, so made the cylinders, had to drive out to Hoboken
On a Sunday to rip and strip.
to first cast them.
Oh,
Then I had to schlep out there on a Sunday to rip and strip. And it was that first
And
sample.
Sammy and I came for rip and strips.
It was that first sample.
Horrible consolidation.
I can't, like this stomach acid is churning.
Is it really?
Dude,
I know.
because we had like no money.
Yeah.
We didn't have the money to freaking
Even just
the
the
gas money.
freaking boxes of cylinders, it's like 50
We
or
didn't
60
have the
bucks
money
a
for
piece.
that.
We need like 2 or 3 boxes.
Every single
Yeah.
one of them.
I know.
Every single one of
Garbage.
them was honeycombed. Like, it's not like, it's like they didn't even consolidate and I was watching them. Imagine this is a 4x8, not a 3x6. So what you're gonna do is fill it up 2 lifts of equal volume. So imagine this is a 4x8 and it was much more than 92 samples.
Was it?
I think that's what I had ripped and stripped and we had just thrown out the rest. So a 4x8, and what you do is you use a tamping rod or a rod like this to consolidate 2 separate lifts of equal volume 25 times. And then you use your hand or a rubber mallet, I believe, and you smack the ever-living crap out of the side 10 to 15 times. So many of these samples. And then what you do at 24 hours, you take a rubber mallet and you take a stripper and you strip these samples. And that takes maybe 5 seconds, but it does take a little bit of muscle.
5 seconds.
10 seconds, 15 seconds, 10 seconds. 10 seconds, I could rip a strip.
Yeah.
I think you could do 10 in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
Probably not.
probably not 10.
Probably not. But anyway, I started ripping through every single one of these. Every sample looked like this. Can you see that, Patchouli? Every sample worse than this.
Yeah.
I think
Minus the fibers.
well, minus the fibers. Did I start crying?
Oh yeah.
I mean, the amount of work, it took the entire day to mix, make,
Yeah.
and cast those samples. I mean, there was 16 mixes?
Yeah, some
No, 18.
ridiculous
18
number.
mixes in one day. This is what the sample's supposed to look like. Bigger, 4x8, not a 3x6. And this is what all the samples look like. I had to throw every single one of those samples out. So, after having a few drinks and some chicken wings from Moore's, fantastic wings.
Great.
Moore's, Freehold.
O'Malley's is still better.
Oh, O'Malley's, yeah.
Moore's
But
is the best wings in Freehold, New Jersey.
Freehold, New Jersey.
O'Malley's.
We'll put a link in the comments section below.
Mhm.
They have that tower of Yingling.
Yes. But
Amazing
O'Malley's has the best,
We'll put links to both of them. O'Malley's in
Wings.
Palmer Lake, Colorado.
like best wings ever.
I've been going
hands
there
down.
since I was a cadet. That food, it's like little angels dancing on the tip
When
of
I
your
was
tongue.
pregnant with Sophia, man, freaking, I could just eat a trough of those for dinner.
Do you
like,
remember?
like bathed in ranch, because their ranch is amazing, and their fries are so good
Remember
too.
their fried cheesecake? That was
No,
too
that was
gross.
too much.
That was so gross.
You just stick with the wings and the fries, but it's so good and amazing ranch.
So I remember Whitney and I were just the realization that we've got to throw out all these samples.
Well, you were like, what do we do?
What do we do? I didn't want to. I
You were
wanted to try to
holding on
find.
to it.
Wanted to try to find a way and get past it, but ultimately.
I was like, you can't. I was
Yeah.
like, you can't rely on that data.
Ugh,
So yeah, that was a tough conversation, but
such a tough conversation. But
the following weekend, your folks watched Sammy J, and John and I cranked them all out on a Saturday, and just took care of business, and they turned out to be darn good samples. You're so lucky. I love you.
you're so good to me.
I know.
So when I got my PhD, we were celebrating with friends. One of our friends, everybody was making toast to me and saying congratulations. And before I could say it, man, she just took the words right out of my mouth and made me look like a chump. Laura Duffy stood up and made a toast to Whitney. And how hard she worked, recognize, right? You did good.
Thanks.
I cannot wait till you get your PhD.
Don't even talk about
Doesn't
that
that
right
suck?
now. I can't even deal with that right now.
Alright, that was a good story.
Dude, it made me freaking cry.
That was a good story.
And I'm not a crier.
Whoa!
You stop.
Wow!
No,
Wow.
Iris, you stop it. Not in general. I don't cry at commercials.
I have not heard Whitney lie ever. ever. I cry at commercials.
You do.
Freaking tire commercials. Any commercial that is about family.
Yeah. Oh, you come on.
Dude, I'm done. I'm done.
Like TV shows. You
Oh,
I love
dude.
There.
Oh my god.
I'm like, are you crying? She's like, no.
You know, what was the point of that story?
Trials and tribulations.
Growth,
Growth, totally.
patience.
You
I
know,
remember-
there's just, I think also, it's crappy to go through tough times, whatever they are, whether it's financial, whether it's, whatever, losing somebody, like there's so many obstacles that you have to go through in life, but I think if you allow yourself to
So many of those things.
kind of open up a little bit, like I find that I feel like we connect and become the strongest when we're going through obstacles, and it sucks, and there's that kind of initial, I think we both kind of get in our own heads a little bit and are trying to figure things. When we come together, it's awesome to like really have a moment and just like be totally just connected and in tune and become one. What?
Thanks for sharing your time with us. Like, subscribe, go concrete.
Be an asphalt. Have a great night.